So, jumping right in, we all know why we're here. Today's July 1st, 2020. Okay, just want to put that out there. So, this past Saturday, I attended the very first step of the NACA program, which is to go to like that like info session. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's like step one that you have to do before you can do an intake session, right? So I did that. Of course, everything going on with the coronavirus, it was online, which was better for me because I wouldn't have wanted going up there anyway. So that actually kind of worked out in my favor. So online, it said it was going to be like 4 hours, and it really did not feel like it at all. The woman who orchestrated the whole thing, like, she was very personable, she was very funny. I think that's what made it go by so fast, because like it didn't feel like you were sitting through a seminar, and seminars are usually like very boring. So right after that, we got our NACA IDs, and from there you can, set up your account and get to work. And that's exactly what I did. So that night, right after the seminar ended, I spent about a good 2 hours uploading everything that they asked for. So it's like, of course, your name and all that good stuff, pay stubs, W-2s, IRS transcripts, some other things. But prior to starting this, of course, I was doing research about this program because it's something that I actually just heard about. Like, so it's July now, so I think it was two and a half months ago that I found out what this program was. And when I started doing research on it, the main thing that I took away from everything that I saw was that this process is going to be what you make it. That's something that people continuously kept saying. You have to be persistent about it. You have to be TTG, ready to go, right? So I was like, okay, so to get my leg up in it, I already had like documents that they were going to request saved to my computer. I took time putting them in like personalized folders or whatever, just to make sure that, I came to the table with something, right? So that night, after I got done uploading all that out documentation, I did the little membership fee, because that's also required either before or at the initial intake session. It's like $25. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not terrible. I could go ahead and get that out the way right now, right? So that's what I did. So right afterwards, they ask you, do you want to set up your intake session? Me being me, I'm like, yeah, let's get the party started. So I did. And they gave me, the first thing that they had available, which was July 9th for 4 o'clock. I was like, oh, that's great. That's perfect. Because, it's like, that's 2 weeks away. Or so I thought. So earlier today, July 1st, 2020, I received an email that my appointment was canceled. And I'm like, why? I didn't do anything. So the reasoning that they gave me was that the person that the appointment was with was a director and doesn't do counseling. And I'm looking at it with my stupid face on, because I'm like, I didn't pick this person. How was I supposed to know that she was a director? Like, y'all assigned her to me. How was I supposed to know that? So I emailed the little member services thing, because like it is damn near impossible to get someone on that telephone. Like, I was calling before that because I had questions about something that I submitted, but luckily I figured it out. It was something on the budget sheet that I didn't understand, but I had to look into that for myself. But luckily I figured it out. But I was never able to get anyone on the phone until today. So I emailed back, of course, and I'm just like, okay, well, when's the next time do you guys have something available? And they said mid-August. Mid-August. So that was kind of like, okay, so we starting on this foot. Okay, all right, whatever. So they provided me they had just automatically sent me a new appointment with a date, a time, and a person. And I'm just like, I looked at it, and unfortunately, it's a day that I'm not going to be available. It's at a time that I'm not going to be available. So they had a phone number for the Houston office. Oh, by the way, yeah, I am in Houston. The main reason I was doing these videos, or I'm going to be doing these videos, is because throughout all the information that I've been looking at on YouTube, I saw no one in Texas. So if this could help somebody out, cool. You know, or if you just want to know more about the process, or someone who's doing it right now in 2020 during this very devastating pandemic, okay. But the goal is for me to actually document this entire journey, because I'm trying to get it off the ground, let me put it that way. So I called the Houston office, and surprisingly, I got someone on the phone. Ask her, you know, what was this? And apparently the woman that they assigned me to was an underwriter. And I'm just like, if this person does not do counseling, if you're going to have a website that automatically creates an appointment for you, why would it even be possible to get an appointment with someone who is not a mortgage counselor? That just didn't make sense to me. Like, and I was kind of annoyed, because it's just like, I feel like this set me back because you made a mistake. But I was trying not to take it personally. I'm like, hey, from what I have read, from what I have watched, this is going to be a trying process. And it's like way too early. I didn't even put my uniform on yet. It's way too early in the game to start getting upset and discouraged. Not the time. So I was like, okay, so do y'all have any other appointments aside from the date? Because they wanted to do it August the 12th. I'm busy that day, so unfortunately I couldn't make that commitment, but I got one for the next day, August the 13th at 2 o'clock, I think. So as far as right now is concerned, that's the date that we're going with. And I asked the young lady before we got off the phone if there was any way that I could get an appointment sooner, like if someone cancels. You know how sometimes you do that, like with doctor's offices and stuff. I wondered if this was going to be any different. I thought it was probably going to be a kind of a shot in the dark, but I was like, you know, you don't know until you try. So she was like, yeah, you would just have to call. And I'm like, call who? She said, just call the office to see if anyone cancels. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is call up there every day or every other day until my appointment, to see if I can get something sooner than August the 13th, because I really would like to start this process this month, because I already have everything that they asked for. But what I will be doing in the meantime is getting a binder together with paper copies. I don't know how beneficial that's going to be, because I highly doubt I will be seeing anyone in person anytime soon. With the pandemic going on, and things are, of course, turning for the worse in Houston, like we all knew it was going to do, because people weren't following directions in the first place. But that's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about that. But I think I'm going to just get things organized, you know, keep updating bank statements as they come to me, pay stubs and all that good stuff, just to make sure that I have anything that might come up. And still just watching videos in the meantime. It's been hard trying to find someone even doing this in my state, period, because all the videos that I watched, it was people from like New York, Georgia, I feel like in Florida. In Florida. Those are like the main states that I saw of people who were going through this process. And some of the videos were like 5 years old. I found like one person who's been going through NACA in 2020. I think it's like Simply Jasmine, I think is her name. And she's in New York. And I was actually watching some of her videos today, and she kind of started this pre-corona. So there's that. So I'm gonna document this as much as I can. I do not own a home. That's the goal, because I am over apartment living, and you know, I feel like it's time for that next step in life, and I'm hoping that this is gonna be what gets me there. It's definitely gonna be something, I'll say that. But I'm not discouraged at this point. I'm still gonna keep trying to get an appointment beforehand. If possible, hopefully someone cancels for whatever reason. Hopefully, maybe they weren't ready or something. But if not, we'll just stick to the date in August. It's 40 something days away. I just rather do it sooner, but I will let anyone who cares, because I don't know if anyone is actually going to watch this or not, but anyone who cares, I'll be back.